Good day, everyone. I am Mary Santos Corrali Pansoy, a fourth-year student of Negros Oriental State University, Shatin Campus, taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English. Welcome to our lecture for Ed 401, Observations of Teaching Learning in Actual School Environment. Our topic for today is learners' behavior and motivation, specifically multiple intelligences. But before we proceed with our discussion, I want you to think about these questions. Have you ever experienced being good at something that your classmates find difficult? And another question: does being good at mathematics automatically mean that you are more intelligent than someone who is good at writing, music, drawing, dancing, or working with other people? Think about that for a moment. Because sometimes we tend to associate intelligence with academic performance alone. We may think that a student who gets high grades in mathematics or science is more intelligent than someone who excels in other areas. But is intelligence really limited to one ability? Or can a person demonstrate intelligence in different ways? These questions lead us to our topic for today: multiple intelligences. Before we proceed to our discussion, let us first look at our learning objectives. At the end of the discussion, the learners should be able to K. Identify and describe the 8 types of multiple intelligences based on given learners' situations. S. Apply the theory of multiple intelligences by creating and presenting a group output using an assigned intelligence. A. Show respect, teamwork, and a positive attitude through active participation in group discussions and activities. Let us begin with a very basic question. What is intelligence? Intelligence generally refers to a person's capacity to learn from experience, understand information, reason, solve problems, adapt to new situations, and use knowledge effectively. Psychologists have proposed different views of intelligence. Charles Spearman emphasized general intelligence, or G, suggesting that a general mental ability influences performance across various cognitive tasks. Later theories such as the Carroll-Horn-Carroll framework recognize general, broad, and specific cognitive abilities. In contrast, Howard Gardner proposed the theory of multiple intelligences, shifting the question from how intelligent is this person to in what ways does this person demonstrate intellectual ability. This shift is central to understanding multiple intelligences. So rather than simply asking how intelligent a person is, we also consider the different ways through which a person demonstrates intellectual ability. Now that we have defined intelligence, let us proceed to multiple intelligences. Multiple intelligences, or MI, is a theory of human intelligence developed by psychologist Howard Gardner and first formally presented in his 1983 book Frames of Mind, The Theory of Multiple Intelligences. The theory proposes that human intellectual ability is not adequately represented by a single general intellectual capacity. Instead, people possess several relatively distinct intellectual capacities. Howard Gardner identified 8 intelligences, including linguistic, logical mathematical, spatial, musical, bodily kinesthetic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, naturalistic. Now, let us discuss each of these 8 multiple intelligences one by one. The first type is linguistic intelligence, also known as word smart. Linguistic intelligence is the capacity to use language effectively, including sensitivity to the meaning, structure, sounds, and functions of words. For example, a student who enjoys writing short stories, participating in debates, or explaining historical events in detail may demonstrate strong linguistic abilities. Some suitable classroom activities for learners with linguistic intelligence includes essay writing, debates, or speeches. Moving on, the second type is logical mathematical intelligence. Logical mathematical intelligence refers to the capacity to reason logically, identify patterns, analyze relationships, solve problems, and work with numbers and abstract concepts. For example, a student who enjoys mathematics, coding, scientific experiments, puzzles, or analyzing data may demonstrate this type of ability. Suitable classroom activities include problem solving, like problem solving exercises, mathematical puzzles, or data analysis. The third type is spatial intelligence. Spatial intelligence is the capacity to perceive, visualize, transform, and reason about objects and relationships in space. For example, a student who enjoys drawing maps, designing posters, creating models, or understanding geometric figures may demonstrate spatial strengths. Suitable classroom activities include concept maps, models, or 3D construction. Next, we have bodily kinesthetic intelligence. Bodily kinesthetic intelligence refers to the capacity to use the body skillfully and to manipulate objects effectively. It involves coordination, physical control, timing movement, and the use of bodily actions to solve problems or communicate. For example, a student who excels in athletics, dance, theater, laboratory work, crafts, or practical activities may demonstrate bodily kinesthetic strengths. Suitable classroom activities include role playing, educational games, or physical demonstrations. Now let us proceed to the sixth type, which is interpersonal intelligence. Interpersonal intelligence refers to the capacity to understand and respond effectively to other people, including their intentions, emotions, motivations, and social relationships. For example, a student who naturally organizes group work, helps classmates, mediates disagreements, or communicates effectively with different people may demonstrate interpersonal strengths. Suitable classroom activities include cooperative learning, group projects, or peer teaching. The seventh type is intrapersonal intelligence. Intrapersonal intelligence refers to the capacity to understand one's own feelings, motives, strengths, limitations, goals, and thought processes, and to use that self-understanding effectively. For example, a student who regularly evaluates their own performance and sets specific study goals may demonstrate intrapersonal strengths. Suitable classroom activities include personal essays, reflection papers, or individual projects. Finally, we have naturalistic intelligence. Naturalistic intelligence refers to the capacity to recognize, distinguish, classify, and understand features of the natural environment. For example, a student who enjoys gardening, environmental activities, wildlife observation, or ecology may demonstrate naturalistic strengths. Suitable classroom activities include environmental investigations, school biodiversity projects, or ecosystem studies. And those are the 8 multiple intelligences identified by Howard Gardner. Now that we have discussed the 8 multiple intelligences, let us connect the theory to learner behavior. Learners may demonstrate different patterns of intellectual strengths which can influence how they approach, participate, and demonstrate understanding of the same learning task. From the perspective of multiple intelligences, learners may draw on different abilities when engaging with classroom activities, although these differences should not be interpreted as fixed learning types. For example, one student may prefer to explain a concept through writing, while another may demonstrate understanding through a diagram, discussion, performance, or hands-on activity. This means that learners can approach the same learning task in different ways. Therefore, as future teachers, it is important to recognize that learners may demonstrate understanding through different abilities and forms of participation. Now that we understand the relationship between multiple intelligences and learner behavior, let us proceed to its connection with motivation. Recognizing learners' varied intellectual strengths can help teachers design more engaging and meaningful learning experiences, potentially increasing students' interest, participation, and motivation when activities provide appropriate opportunities to use and develop different abilities. Research on MI-informed instruction has reported positive relationships with students' learning motivation. Let us consider some examples. A student with strong musical intelligence may become more engaged when a teacher allows the student to use rhythm, a song, or a musical composition to demonstrate understanding of a lesson. On the other hand, a student who is more comfortable with visual or hands-on activities may become less interested in a lesson when learning is limited to lengthy verbal explanations and written tasks. Therefore, recognizing different intellectual strengths can help teachers provide opportunities for learners to participate in meaningful ways. Now, the question is, how can teachers respond to these different intellectual strengths in the classroom? One key strategy is differentiated instruction. Okay, so differentiated instruction is an approach in which teachers provide varied learning activities, resources, and ways of demonstrating understanding to respond to learners' different strengths, needs, interests, and readiness levels. To better understand this strategy, let us consider an example. Okay, so we have here an example. One lesson, different ways of learning. So our topic is ecosystem. For linguistic intelligence, learners can write an explanation of how an ecosystem works. For logical mathematical intelligence, learners can analyze population or food chain data. For spatial intelligence, learners can create a food web diagram. For bodily kinesthetic intelligence, learners can act out the roles of organisms in an ecosystem through a short role play. For musical intelligence, learners can create a short song or rhythm to remember ecosystem concepts. For interpersonal intelligence, learners can work with classmates to investigate an ecosystem problem. For intrapersonal intelligence, learners can write an individual reflection about one's relationship with the environment. And finally, for naturalistic intelligence, learners can observe and classify organisms found around the school. As we can see, the same topic, ecosystem, can be approached through different activities corresponding to different intelligences. And that brings us to the end of our discussion on multiple intelligences. Thank you for listening, and I hope that this discussion has helped you better understand learners' behavior and motivation through the theory of multiple intelligences. Have a great day, everyone.